When you were a pro athlete, your ego wasn't just along for the ride. It was driving the whole goddamn car. Your ego, it fueled you, it protected you, it told you every single day that you are unstoppable. But when the game ends and the crowd goes quiet, you realize something utterly terrifying. You don't know who you are without it. This is the story of ego in the arena and the battle after the final whistle. You see, when you are in the game as an athlete, your ego is your armor. It's something you actually need. Your ego will tell you you're the best, you're built different, but it will also tell you you're only worthy of something if you win. And because of the way your ego is built, it drives athletic performance. You literally believe your own ego because it helps you be a better athlete. But here's the trap. When your performance as an athlete is rooted in your own identity, your ego stops being a tool, and unawareingly to you as an athlete, your ego is actually your prison. You're not just playing the sport, you are the sport. And the world loves you for it, the media, the fans, the interviews, etc. So you see, this ego, it actually gets fed and it grows until eventually, at some point, the ego is no longer armor. It's actually a mask, and a mask that you so effortlessly wear as a pro athlete. Psychologically, we call this ego inflation, where the identity becomes so fused with external validation, for example, the fans, the media, the coaches, that it forgets who it was before the spotlight. And then one day, it's over. No more locker rooms, no more stage performances, and you're no longer in that environment. And the voice that used to hype you up, it's no longer there. Or even worse, that voice, it starts whispering to you, you're not relevant anymore, or you're nothing without the game. You're nothing without the sport. Unfortunately, this ego is left unintegrated, okay? Meaning it doesn't know how to die, and it doesn't know how to die gracefully. It will cling, it will panic, it will spiral, and then eventually it hits you. As an ex-athlete, your sport was your identity. You were addicted to this identity, not just the sport. You were addicted to the identity that the sport gave you. It was transactional. And eventually, without becoming aware, you weren't chasing greatness. You were chasing significance. You were chasing relevance because your ego got so inflated over the years or decades. And the sad truth is that some athletes, they never actually retire because they never let the ego die. And a lot of the time they don't know how to let the ego die. Post-retirement identity loss is a very real psychological phenomenon. The brain has been wired for high intensity purpose and performance, and without the stimulus, it experiences a dopamine crash. Dopamine is your feel-good hormone. Focus fades, depression creeps in, and the ego, now without a job to do, turns inwards and it literally attacks yourself. You see, your retirement, it's not just a career change. It is the death of the ego. The ego is no longer being fed. And the ego death, it really does feel like a death of a part of you if no one prepares you for it. I wish I watched a video like this when I was still an athlete. It would have really helped at least. And you're grieving more than just the sport. You're really just grieving your sense of self. The you who had purpose, who had a tribe, who had camaraderie, who had excellence. You're grieving that you. And when the performance stops, the shadows show up. The parts of you that were suppressed for years in the name of success. The anger, the insecurity, and the fear of being ordinary. In Jungian psychology, this is the confrontation with the shadow, okay? And it is a very necessary step forwards for integration and healing. Thing is, it's very messy, and it requires one thing most athletes were never trained to have: stillness. But here's the truth. You're not just your sport. I've said that before. You're not just your stats, your followers, how much money you made as an athlete. You are actually something so much deeper than any of that. Now, please understand, the ego is not evil. It doesn't make you a bad person. But once you retire as an athlete, the ego is really scared. It's kind of like a soldier who only knows how to fight. And if that soldier gets injured and can't fight, it's really scared, okay? But then when the war ends and the soldier doesn't even need to fight, it doesn't know what to do with the peace and the stillness. It doesn't know how to sit in the peace and the stillness. But you see, peace is where the soul begins. And this is why, upon reflection, losing my athletic career was actually the best thing that ever happened to me. Guarantee you. In spiritual traditions, ego death isn't a loss. You see, it's an awakening. It's the moment the false self steps aside so the true self can emerge. And that self, it doesn't need a crowd. It finds flow in simplicity, presence in stillness, meaning in growth, not just achievement. You see, retirement isn't the end of your story. It is the start of a real one. The one where you stop performing and instead you start becoming from the inside. To every athlete out there, if you're watching this, don't let your ego become your identity. Don't get caught up in all the praise, the fans, what coaches tell you, and always know that you are so much more than your sport, and there's so much more to you than just what you do as an athlete. And if you've retired, know this: you haven't lost yourself. Yourself was always with you. The thing is, now you're only starting to meet you now that you're not an athlete. If this one hit home, drop a like, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel already, definitely do so, because there's always videos coming out like this, and there's a heap of other videos on my channel already. That's it for this one. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.